Hello.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, you are
Good evening,
audible,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you everyone. Very warm welcome to everyone who's here today.
Good evening, ma'am.
Very
Thank you,
good
ma'am.
evening.
Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
It is
evening.
audible.
Great.
Sound is coming slow, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sound is okay. Just give me a second. I'll adjust it.
Okay.
What about now?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are
it's
audible.
okay, ma'am. It's audible.
It
Good
is
evening, madam.
audible.
You are audible.
Good evening, ma'am.
Very good evening to everyone. My name is Chetan Preet. I am here to take you today through this webinar on Montessori. Before delving into Montessori, a little bit about UP Educators.
Good evening, ma'am.
Very good evening, dear. At UP Educators, we update,
Good evening, ma'am.
good evening, upkeep, upgrade, and upskill the educators. UP Educators has academic partnerships with Google for Education, Cambridge, MEPSC Skill India, STEM.org, Intel Skills for Motivation, OTHM, NASCOM Future Skills Prime, and ATHIC. We are India's leading institute to offer instructor-led courses to educators, equipping educators to teach using 21st century pedagogy, AI tools, innovative teaching practices, and digital tools. We all know in the current times, we need all these tools to stay in touch with the modern times. UP Educators has trained 25,000 plus educators from 9,000 plus schools and colleges, many of which are on your screens. You can see. We have the largest teacher community on social media with 4 lakh plus followers in India itself. If you would like, you can join us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. UP Educators has a Google rating of 4.8 as per the Google reviews. From time to time, UP Educators organizes international Olympiads for educators, and annually 25,000 plus teachers participate in these international Olympiads. These are international primary Olympiads, English teachers Olympiads, science teachers, pre-primary, maths, and digital teachers Olympiads. And they all get a certificate like the one which is there on your screens. These Olympiads have received tremendous media coverage in the leading dailies as well as on social media. From time to time, UP Educators invites expert voices in education. And if you are doing the courses with us, you get a chance to attend these. And from time to time, you are invited also, informed through social media to attend these sessions. These are National Teaching Award winners. A few of our initiatives, I'll just be very brief about them. UP Educators, in partnership with Google for Education, has launched largest nationwide AI training program to upskill 10,000 plus educators across India in AI literacy and practical classroom use of AI tools. UP Educators also partners with Google for Education to train 20,000 plus faculty and students so far across India, building AI-ready campuses which are aligned with NEP 2020. Up Educators has built India's first offline AI platform, Up Educate AI. This platform works completely offline for Intel AI-powered laptops. Up Educators, in association with NASSCOM Future Skills, offers advanced AI course for educators, which is accredited by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. Up Educators, in collaboration with Google, will train 20,000 teachers across India on information literacy, as AI makes it harder to distinguish between real and fake information, to help you search and use the AI responsibly. A few popular courses offered by Up Educators. The technology courses on your screens, the GCE level 1s and level 2, GCE trainer, AI course, advanced AI course for educators, and online teaching course for educators. We have courses on pedagogy, like the Cambridge International Education, the Innovative Teaching Practices, and the Instructional Design course. Then we also have courses which help you become future ready with STEM. These are the STEM Certified Teachers course, Drone for Educators course, STEM Robotics course for educators. Up Educators also offers the popular courses in early childhood education. These are Early Childhood Care and Education course, the Nursery Teacher Training course, and the Montessori Teacher Training course. All of these are recognized by the Government of India, and they get a Skilled India certification. Now, if you need any more detail on these or any of the courses, you can always visit our website, www.upeducators.com. Up Educators has initiated India's first AI platform for educators, helping the educators of the modern times, become equipped with the modern tools. Now, I'm sure many of you would be thinking and saying, we already use AI, right? So, but we use AI how? We use it like Google. So this helps educators make the most of AI to help them optimally use it to request you to please mute yourself. And if you need to speak anything, that time you can unmute yourself.
मी 2-3 फोन आले ना खूप फोन मध्ये झाले माझे.
So now we move on to we are here today for. Do you recognize this person on your screens?
Yes, madam. Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Very good. Thank you. So, do we know what is he famous for? He's a very famous person. Any one thing which he is famous for? Please mute yourself.
Launching satellites.
Very good.
He's famous for Tesla.
Yes.
He
And
is famous also X, Twitter.
X, yes. Very good. So also he's the richest man, I suppose, on earth. Now, I don't know if the data has changed in the last few days, but he's also one of the richest men on earth. So very famous and influential personality. Richest man in the world and a very influential figure. So why is he famous for? You already told me all of this. He's the CEO of Tesla. He's the CEO and chief engineer of SpaceX, founder of Boring Company, co-founder of Link, and owner of Twitter, which we now call X. But he's famous for one more thing. He has a very large family. But why are we discussing his family here? Because he has 14 children and he opened the first. I'll first request you to mute yourself. It's my humble request. Please mute yourself. So Elon Musk opens, if I mute everyone, then you will not be able to respond also. That's why I'm not muting. You mute. Humble request to mute yourself. First,
किती वेळ म्हणा श्वास 7 वर्ष
okay. So on your screens are a few names which are also very famous. These are the owners or CEO of Amazon and co-founders of Google, co-owners of Google, which they are Larry Page, Sergey Brin, and Jeff Bezos. Why are we talking about all these famous personalities here? Because they were all Montessori school students. And not only them, but many other famous personalities all over the world, like George Clooney, Princes William and Harry, and closer home, many Bollywood children, and even they are all Montessori school students. Humble request to mute yourself, please. We can all hear you, please. Please mute yourself. Everyone is getting disturbed.
Ma'am, you could ask them why don't you request?
Okay, so this led to the global expansion of Montessori education. That means that so many famous people across the world were Montessori, are Montessori alumna. So that means Montessori education has had a global expansion. It is famous all over the world. In fact, everywhere in the world, all of the continents, except maybe the exception of Antarctica, everywhere Montessori education has expanded. So much so that according to the data of 2022, across 154 countries, there were about 15,763 schools. And this was 4 years back. And in the last 4 years, the expansion has continued. It is one of the fastest growing preschool education methods in the world. I'm sure that's why we are all here today. This demand has, in India also, this demand has been growing manyfold in the last decade. It has exceeded a growth rate of 50%. So why across the world this demand of Montessori education is increasing? See, I'm muting you and then again you are unmuting yourself. Pavitra, Miss Pavitra, please mute yourself. Yes, dear, I have muted all, but you have the option of still again unmuting yourself. Okay, so why across this demand is increasing? We are going to come back to this discussion in a while. But before that, what we need to know is, who is this person behind all of this?
Ma'am, Maria Montessori is the founder of the Montessori.
Yes, very good. Maria Montessori was born in a small province in Italy. The name of this province is Chiaraville, near Rome, in 1870, exactly on August 31st, 1870. This was a time when girls had very limited access to education. And it was a very conservative time. If you ask me, I'll give you a few examples which will help you determine how conservative a time it was. So much so that the only suitable career options were girls were considered to be teaching and nursing. So much so that, if a married woman had to withdraw money from her own bank account, she needed the permission of her husband. If she had to testify in a court of law, she again needed the same permission. So on and so forth. So these examples document that it was a very conservative time in Italy when Maria Montessori was. Now, at such a time, she was determined to become a doctor. So much so that her own father was also, although he was very keen on her in her education to get her educated, but still he also wanted her to take the usual career options only. So with very little support, her mother was supported though. She was determined to become a doctor. Despite initial rejection, she eventually became one of Italy's first female doctors in 1896. Again, because she was female, she did not get a chance to treat people in the urban areas. She was treating people only in the slum areas. Now she had opted for pediatrics, meaning children's treatment, and also for years her other field was psychiatry. So you can say her field was child psychiatry. So as a result, she could only work with poor children and patients with mental disorders, and she could not work in the affluent urban areas. Now, again, many of you would be thinking that if she was a doctor, how did this happen? How did she go from medicine to education? Now, Maria Montessori had various such experiences which led her to dream or think or believe that she was meant for something else. One such incident is on your screens. One day when she was visiting an asylum, because when she needed to treat children with mental disorders, she had to visit asylums along with her senior doctor, because she was a new doctor and she was assigned to a senior, and they would go and visit children in asylums. In one such asylum, children were kept chained. And very derogatory terms were also used for these children. These days we call them special children. And sometimes special children is also considered to be a derogatory term, but those days they were referred to as idiots, and many other derogatory terms were there. And they were kept chained. So Maria Montessori was very observant by nature. So once when she was visiting them, and during lunch hour, the chains were opened and children were eating. And once they had eaten, they had their fill of food and they were no longer hungry. She saw that they were fiddling with breadcrumbs or the food crumbs on the floor. Excuse me. This and various other experiences and instances she had. Because she was a doctor, she wouldn't settle for one experience. She would always be convinced if she had various such experiences. So she had various such experiences which led her to believe that the current education system or whatever treatment these children were getting, it was not enough. She felt that medicine was not the answer to their ailments. It was actually movement, because they were kept chained and tied. That is why. So in short, it was an impoverished environment which was the cause of their conditions. So that is the main foundation or the idea behind her method. She concluded if given or provided with the right materials, these young minds could be nurtured. And this led her to develop an educational method which is focused on the optimal stimulation during childhood's sensitive periods. Okay. Now, I'm sure many of you would be thinking, what are sensitive periods? To put it very simply, a sensitive period is a temporary window in a child's life when the child's attention is on a particular activity or skill and everything else sort of takes a backseat. Let's say when children start walking, you must have observed they walk whole day. They don't sit for a second. Right? Whereas adults, they walk only to move from one place to the other to get something. They walk for a reason. But children keep on walking the entire day. So much so that at night, mothers have to press their legs thinking they must be so tired. Or when they start talking, they talk 19 to the dozen. Okay? Or when they focus on small little things, then every attention, their whole attention is on tiny little things. If you take them to the park and they are focused on the ants and the bugs and the little pebbles and the twigs and not focusing on the landscape and all that. But these are all temporary windows in their life. Yes, welcome, Montessori. So her whole educational method is focused on optimal stimulation during childhood sensitive period. She felt that during this period, if the teachers were observant enough to recognize these sensitive periods and the environment catered to their interests, because these windows will appear for a short while, they were temporary for a few months, for a year. So if during that period they could get similar materials or similar activities around them to choose from, they will make the most of these sensitive periods. If they are in a period of movement, then there should be a lot of things to manipulate, and they should have the environment and freedom and space to move. If they are in a phase when they are talking 90%, so that time they should have communication. You can say the channel of communication should be open with the educators, with the parents, with they have people to socialize with, they have children of their age to socialize with and talk and express themselves. So catering to their needs, that is what the sensitive periods tell us. Sensitive periods are the children's needs, and the need is to cater to them. So this was really exciting for her because she was really interested and she felt that this is what she was actually meant to do. So she co-founded an orthopedic school in 1899. Here she worked with children with special needs with her methods. She taught children with disabilities using her hands-on sensory-based tools, and they were really successful. So much so that these children, when they were tested at par with the normal children, the typical ones, they almost fared the same as them. They performed really well. Okay. So this led to the shift from doctor to educator scientist. And she never stopped at her methods, which she already had a few tools like hands-on sensory-based tools. She didn't stop at them. What she did was she was constantly observing children. Every day she would observe, and she kept on refining her method. She kept on removing what was no longer serving the purpose. She kept on modifying the tools. She kept on bringing new ones, removing the ones which were no longer serving the purpose. And that is how the method kept on evolving. And that is why the method is still relevant today after more than 100 years, because it came from a lot of research, because she was a doctor and scientist, and it came from research. So the key message here is that she realized that the special need education techniques, which were so successful with her special needs children, which could actually benefit all children. So now this led to another dream. Now she wanted to work with typical and normal children with these techniques. She felt if these special needs children could do so well, could perform so well with these techniques, then what is holding back our typical or normal children? So now she was looking for an opportunity to work with them. In fact, everyone knew she was a director of hygiene in a slum area. She was allowed only to work in slum areas. So in one such district, which is called San Lorenzo in Rome, she was the director of hygiene. So everyone knew that she was looking for an opportunity to work with typical children. So this was a slum area where, in slum areas, labor class families were there living. So what happens in labor class families is that both mother and father have to go to work to be able to put food on the table for the children. So naturally, there was no one left at home to take care of these children. These children were left unattended. So what happens when young children are left unattended? They would cause harm to each other. They would vandalize things. Even they were causing harm to property. They were up to mischief all the time. So the developers thought that they should have a place. I mean, they didn't have any big motives for them. They just thought there should be a place where these children could be taken care of. Someone would mind these children and keep them out of mischief. On the other hand, Maria Montessori was looking for such an opportunity already. So they approached her. The developers approached Maria Montessori to find a constructive way to engage the children. Now, Maria Montessori was such an illustrious Pooja, do you have a query for me? Miss Pooja, you have raised your hand. So they approached her to find a constructive way to engage the children. She was an illustrious doctor, so much so that her friends, Miss Bareen, you have a query? Please raise your hand only if you have a query. For reactions, you need not raise your hands. Yes, dear, we will be ending the session around 8. So, so much so that her, she was such an illustrious doctor, and her friends were actually laughing at what she wanted to get into, because she to work with, teach in the slum area. But she was so keen to work with normal children that she readily took up this opportunity. So what was a challenge, what seemed like a social challenge, became a turning point. It was her first chance to apply her ideas to typical children in real life settings. So as a result, the first Casa di Bambini opened in 1907 in San Lorenzo in Rome. Casa di Bambini is an Italian word which casa means house and Bambini means children, meaning children's house or house of children. It opened in Rome, where she used specially designed materials from her earlier experiments. The results were tremendous. The children became focused, independent, and even began reading and writing. So the method, which was not born from theory, but from careful observation and proof. Now, what is the role of India? India also has a role to play in this growth. In 1907, the first Casa di Bambini opened in Rome, in Italy. And after that, they spread. It was so popular. It was so much popular that famous people from across the world, the countries in Europe around Italy, they wanted to come and see what was going on. The children became disciplined. The slum children were there. They were working. They were working as if the teacher was not there around them. So that kind of everyone wanted to know what phenomena was at play over here, and they wanted to see for themselves. So it became really popular. And Casa di Bambini is opened first in Europe, and then in 1913 the method went to America, and then it spread all over the world. But if in the next 2 decades, till the 1930s, there were Montessori schools everywhere in the world. Maria Montessori was, conducting teacher training sessions, and the teachers would go and start in the different areas of the world. So, but we also know 1930s is a period of world wars in Europe. And in Italy, during the Second World War, we know there was Mussolini in Italy. And everyone had heard of the popularity of the Montessori method. He also heard. And he wanted to use it for his own purposes. When he approached the Montessori teachers, they refused. So we know what happens when influential people are turned down. So he ordered the shutting down of Montessori schools all over Europe, and Maria Montessori had to flee. So all over the Montessori schools were closed. They were shut down. She had to flee, and she came to India, where she was housebound for 6 years. In 1939, she came here with her son. Although she was housebound, but she has done a lot of work here. Here, people had heard about the popularity of her method here also. So they welcomed her, and here she has worked in the subcontinent and trained many teachers, conducted various teacher training sessions. She has trained over 1,500 teachers over here. She came in 1939 and she left here in 1946. Mussolini died in 1945. Only after that, her fans, invited her to reopen the schools in London, and then the Montessori schools reopened everywhere. Just give me a second. In India, she lived in Kodaikanal, where she developed cosmic education for ages 6 to 12. Now, what is cosmic education? Have you heard the term cosmic or the word cosmic anywhere? Anyone can tell me what do you mean?
It is
No, it
something
is
with
not compulsory to introduce
energy.
yourself. Pardon?
Hi, Anup
Sorry.
this side. Anup this side. So I think cosmic is one sort of energy that is above all. This is what I heard.
Yes, you are right. So cosmic terms comes from means interdependence and harmony in the universe. The term also comes from space, the cosmos. So broadly, it means the interdependence and harmony in the universe. I'll give you a brief example, very simple example, which will help you make sense how Maria Montessori uses this term. That she believed that every living organism in this world had a cosmic task. For example, the plants, they give out oxygen, which they never consume themselves. Who consume? We need to consume it. That is their cosmic task. They are not sacrificing anything while doing that task. It is just a normal task for them, but that benefits us. Similarly, bees, they collect nectar, but they never consume it themselves. The cows graze the fields to satisfy their own hunger, but in turn, they leave the fields fertile. So likewise, the vultures, eat the dead entrails of animals. In that way, they cleanse uh, and so on and so on. So Maria Montessori believed that when every living organism in this world has a cosmic task, how can human beings be far behind? So she saw in the child a cosmic agent. So she believed if the child's education should be such that it prepared an adult, it led or developed an adult who was holistically developed and was a contributing member of, usefully contributing harmony, a member of society who could live in harmony with everyone. Because it was not happening. She felt that the current education system was not serving its purpose. That's why wars were being fought. That's why there was so much, there was competition, there was comparison, there was jealousy, there was no harmony. That's what it is happening these days as well. So this was a kind of education which fosters a sense of wonder, responsibility, and connection to all living beings. It helps children understand their place in the universe. And India had a role to play in this. In India, she met Gandhi, Nehru, and Tagore, and she was deeply moved by Indian spirituality and values. She was herself a spiritual person as well. She was a Catholic. However, her stay in India for 7 years, and when she left India in 1946, she was working on some books. Her books, very famous books, The Absorbent Mind and The Discovery of the Child, came out in 1948. So we would like to believe that India also had a role, and those books have an element of mysticism and spirituality. So it came from India, and the values she talks about, India has a role in shaping them as well. So the key message here is that India shaped her global vision of education as a tool for peace, purpose, and planetary. It was a legacy which later changed the entire. The method which began with children who were marginalized and eventually transformed education for everyone. She trained thousands of teachers across Europe, India, and the US. She inspired a global movement in over 100 countries across schools, homes, and communities. Maria Montessori was nominated thrice for the Nobel Peace Prize for her work on education as a path to peace. She hasn't won even once, and she was not won for awards, but her fans were, and they got her nominated thrice. Maria Montessori passed away at the age of 82. After that, the baton of her work was carried on by her son, Mario Montessori, who also worked till the age of 82, and later on, the rest of the family. So this led to the birth of Montessori education, which is a revolutionary approach to. Now, I'm sure you would want to know then how is it different from the traditional approach? There's nothing wrong with the traditional approach. We are all products of that approach. We're doing quite fine for ourselves. But we would like to then know what is the difference between both and how one is better than the other. That's for everyone to decide for themselves. Now, this is one example of a traditional approach where the teacher is teaching simple addition. Again, nothing wrong with it. Very effective approach. So what she is doing here is she is showing objects, and of course, it will lead to the teacher asking them to count the objects in one hand, then the objects in the other hand. And together they will come to sum of things. So 3 + 3 is 6 or whatever. That is how she's going to teach them. So while doing this, how many senses do you think the children are engaging with? How many senses are engaged when the teacher is teaching this? Would anyone like to answer?
Watching and
Eyes and ears, both
Eyes
senses.
and
Very
ears.
good. Excellent. Eyes and ears. So
Just
auditory
two.
and visual.
Auditory
all
and the sight.
two.
Eyes.
Sight.
Yes. So the traditional teaching methodology primarily engages two senses. Primarily, I'm saying. There might be some teachers who might be, introducing materials which engage the other senses, but primarily this methodology engages two senses, which is hearing and sight, through lectures, reading from textbooks, and listening to the teacher. And this is mostly the way in which we have all studied as well. So the senses engaged are auditory and visual. On the other hand, Montessori is a multi-sensory way of teaching. How many senses are there?
Touching.
No,
Five,
how
madam.
many total senses are
Five.
there?
Ma'am, touching.
There are two senses.
All five senses.
Five senses. There are five senses.
Yes.
Five senses.
But in this activity, you were right, three are engaged.
Yeah.
Eyes,
Yes.
Eyes and touching.
Yes. So,
feeling,
auditory
seeing,
and tactile.
and listening.
Yes, excellent. So, this method believes that the more the senses are engaged, the experience is permanent. When you have felt something with your hands, you have touched it, you have felt it, or you have heard it, or you have smelled it, then the experience becomes a part of you if the senses are engaged. Now, before we go further, I'll not take long, just do a little exercise with maybe a few of you only should answer. Do you remember any incident from your school till the age of class 10? Any incident, any learning, anything you remember from your school? I'll give you the liberty of remembering till class 10. The whole high school, the whole school years, do you remember anything? Any good or bad experience? Pain, joy, whatever. Learning.
Yeah, I have remembered the rhyme. Hello, everyone. My name is Kavita Rana. I'm from
Yes,
East
Kavita.
Africa, Uganda. I've connected to you guys. I have remembered the rhyme, and I have remembered till now the story of the hare and the tortoise that my teacher
Oh,
taught.
beautiful.
Yeah, and it's still in my head. So as I'm working over here, I still, tell that story. It's still in my head. It connects
Yes.
with
The
me.
memory or the images are in
Yes.
your mind.
Yes. So
I'll
I
come
tell
back
my
to you.
students.
That's an important
Yeah.
memory.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Just one more because I won't take much of the time. Anyone else remembers anything?
Hi,
You
ma'am.
may
This
remember
is
standing
Hafsa
outside the
Murad from
principal's
Surat.
office or anything.
Can you
Pardon?
hear me?
From my
This is
primary
Hafsa Murad from
classes.
Surat. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can I
Yes,
talk, or is anybody else? Am I audible?
yes, you are. Go ahead, please.
I was like, I think 6.5 when I moved, shifted to South Africa, and I didn't know a word of English at all, nothing to communicate to anybody. And when I went over there, the teachers were so gentle over there. I was in the primary section, and usually in India, we should start learning from a very small age, at a very young age, so we know how to use erasers. And I didn't know over there that we're not allowed to use erasers. So I had one from home, and I was busy rubbing my errors. And then she comes to me and said, no, I want to see the mistakes that you make so that I can improve where you're getting wrong. Please do not use erasers. I wasn't allowed to use erasers at all over there. That was something that just stayed in my mind. That was the first class that I've attended in South Africa. It was so difficult understanding everybody. But it was the support from the teachers that we've got that I've come so far.
Thanks for giving me these two experiences, and many of you have written in chats. I have gone through them, but I don't have time to respond to everyone, so please excuse me if you feel that I haven't responded, but I have read through them. So what I want to say, I acknowledge everyone, and one of you has said that she remembers the harsh punishments of the school. It is really sad. Yes. So what do we remember from a school? Whatever we have experienced and we have felt, and no one said I remembered maths lesson, I remembered any lesson or science or anything, no one remembers. Okay, so what we remember is either the pain of a punishment or a rhyme which you might have experienced because it was given in a very manner that your senses were singing with it, dancing with it, so you remember that, right? Then you may remember participation in things like dance, like drama, going for excursions, or maybe art and craft if you love that, or sports, or things you have done and experienced. Right? So that's what I wanted to arrive at. That Montessori method is a multi-sensory way of approach, and the benefit is that when all the senses are involved, then learning is the experience. You retain that learning and experience for a long time. So, according to Maria Montessori, the senses are the explorers of the world. They open the way to knowledge. Please mute yourself. Senses are the explorer, and she has also called them the keys to the universe because they open up the hidden treasures of the world. The children, experience everything through these 5 senses. Then they make sense of their world. This kind of approach has various benefits. It improves their attention span, leads to improved academic performance. Yes, Rutuja. Yes, maths is something has been a nemesis of many people. Leading to better long-term retention, helps children with empathy and interpersonal skills, and also it leads to higher order thinking skills like problem solving and critical thinking. When children work or manipulate things with their hands and they encounter problems, then they learn to solve them as well, and it leads to critical thinking. Okay? Just someone else telling you about something about their experience, it is not your problem. They might tell you, okay, if you have spilled water, you need to clean. Okay, that goes above the children's head. But when they are pouring on their own and water spills, they know that it has to be. Now, this is a problem which has to be solved. How? By wiping or cleaning it up. So problems are solved when they encounter it. Multisensory approach only helps. Otherwise, it doesn't work like that. They forget about things. They hear and forget. Then the learning approach is different. It is textbook-based, teacher-led in the traditional. It is child-led, exploratory, and hands-on in the Montessori environment. In the traditional, there is the same pace for the entire class, whereas here it is individualized based on the child's readiness. Teacher is the instructor and authority figure, usually in the traditional method, whereas here she is a guide and observer. Her role is very important though, but it is more, she has to decide. Her observations help her when to stay back, when to intervene, when to guide, when to help the children. In the setup in the classroom is also different, as I need not explain, as you can see in the pictures. Learning materials are different. Here there are abstract concepts delivered through books and worksheets. Here the children get to experience them on their own and then discover their own concepts. The style of assessment is also different. Here there are regular grades, tests, and standardized assessments. Whereas on the other hand, you can say in the Montessori approach, you will find assessment is continuous, observational, and formative, because there is no one fine day when the child can perform. Child may be in a cranky mood, not slept well last night. This one day cannot decide whether the child is performing well. So it has to be continuous. The focus of education is the achievement of subject completion and curriculum, whereas here it is the holistic development of the child. So just imagine a building. A building has 4 pillars. If any of them is weak, the building is likely to be weak and crumble. So similarly, a personality has 4 pillars: physical, social, cognitive, and emotional. If any of them is weak, our personality is likely to be weak. The child may be great at academics, got 99% marks, and got through into IIT or something, a great institute, the top institute in the country, but lack social and emotional skills. I'm not saying they are all going to lack those skills. All of them are important. A rounded personality is important. So Montessori education caters to the child's holistic development. Because tomorrow when they go looking for jobs, what are those people looking for in them? They are looking for, interpersonal skills. They're looking for how these people are going to be team persons, how they are going to, what kind of leadership skills they have, how they are able to, follow others in a team. So those skills are equally important. That is why the child's holistic development is important and not just subject completion and academic.
Ma'am, is cosmic education related to holistic development?
Yes. That is what cosmic education means. We have a subject in Montessori which is called cultural subjects, in which the child is introduced to zoology, botany, geography, and history all together, because we feel the integrated approach helps them understand about history. I'll give you a very simple example. The child is studying about animals in zoology. Okay, now when the child studies about animals and their names and their features and their color and what do they eat and all that, side by side they also learn where do they live. So isn't that geography, right? And about their life cycle, isn't that history? History is passage of time. So all the subjects are integrated. That is what her cosmic approach meant. Yes. Now, these teaching practices, I'm sure many of you would be having this question also. This method started 100 years ago. Is it going to be successful? Is it successful in this century? And is it going to be successful in the times which are coming? Next, or 2 decades. Please mute yourself. So is it going to be suitable or not? Any other method you have heard, things disappear after 5 years. Technology is spreading so fast that not even 5 years before that, you will find something has replaced what was so popular last year. But here is this method which started more than 100 years ago and still going strong. And more people are drawn towards it because it came with a lot of research. And it is still suitable to the 21st century. Now, what are the 21st century skills? Okay, those skills which equip the child or make the child able or equipped to perform in the modern times. These are those skills which make us, these are set of abilities which help the children succeed in today's rapidly changing world. What are these skills? Now, I'm sure you must have heard of these terms in new age fancy schools and also in the corporate jargon. You must have heard of things like the STEM approach, the STEAM approach, or the the 3 C's, the 4 C's. Has anyone heard of these terms?
Same approach we know.
We're practicing STEM approach right now in our school too.
So
This is started
these
with.
are all the need of the current times, the modern times. Now, Montessori has all of these inbuilt. What are these skills? These are self-control, self-direction and autonomy, problem-solving and critical thinking, creativity, socio-emotional development. Pritika, do you have a query, Miss Pritika?
No, ma'am.
Oh,
No, ma'am.
your hand is raised. Collaboration and communication, global citizenship and respect for diversity. These are the skills. Now, what is self-control? Here, children, choose their work, complete it and return. So choose, do, return. Choose, do, return every day. It leads to will development. That is how they develop control. They bring their own impulses under control. Self-direction autonomy. They have the freedom to choose their work. They work with it on their own pace, and it leads to autonomy and self-direction. The materials are such that they have inbuilt controls of error, which help them work with it on their own. All the materials are such that they lead to problem solving and critical thinking. Now, the child is building this star. So he will work with it, keep on doing trial and error, and discover for himself what works. When he places these small cubes at the bottom, the tower will topple over, the foundation won't be strong. And after repeatedly trying many times, the child will figure out the right to try. The material itself acts as a guide. Child will be able to solve his own problems. It leads to social emotional skills because there's mixed age grouping and children learn from their peers, and the older children strengthen their own skills by teaching the younger ones or helping the younger ones. They don't teach like teachers, but they help out when they know things, and the younger ones look upon them as heroes and role models. And this method works a lot in peer mentoring, support, and empathy. Then there is creativity. We introduce very few presentations to children, and the rest, the children, material is open-ended. They get to try on their own, and they're not stopped from doing it in their way. This leads to the development of creativity and imagination. Collaboration and communication, because there is mixed age grouping, they have the freedom of speech, freedom of movement. They are neither forced nor stopped from speaking to anyone. Okay. Choosing their work, this naturally leads to collaboration and there are opportunities for group work. And eventually, the cosmic approach, the cultural curriculum, it all leads to global citizenship and respect for others. The materials are also unique. They encourage independent learning. We have specific materials for practical life, which lead to independence and life skills. Sensorial, which refine the senses. Language for phonics and learning to read and write. Maths has a concrete to abstract approach, and the cultural subjects have an integrated approach. They enhance problem-solving skills because they are self-correcting tools. They refine the sensory perception of the child. And they boost STEM readiness by introducing numbers, counting, arithmetic, and there are science tools which encourage discovery through experimentation. They make their own predictions. Then they test those predictions and come to their own conclusions. There is concrete to abstract learning, meaning the materials and the blocks or the equipment are very concrete, hands-on like toys, but the concepts which they get out of them are very abstract, like surfaces, rough and smooth, temperatures, hot and cold, sizes, big and small, tall and short. It prepares for future careers because the environment caters to multiple intelligence and different varied learning styles of children. These are all research-based findings, how beneficial these are. I'm not going to read out for them. They are on your screens. How these children outperform their peers in standardized tests, especially for language and maths. They do better than their traditional school counterparts. Although it's not a rule because different children do differently in different scenarios. It leads to executive function development, which is particularly evident in tasks which require, they do really well in tasks which need planning, organization, and flexible, because they have the experience of working hands-on with things before. They have better social emotional skills. They are more adjusted, have fewer settling adjustment problems. These are all statistical findings. Now, what are the benefits for all of you who are gathered here, who are trying to learn about Montessori? What are the benefits for you all? Now, a Montessori qualification or knowledge can get you a job as a preschool teacher, because these days many schools are bringing in Montessori. There are some which are not even pure Montessori, but they are hybrid, or they are not even hybrid. They just want to start a Montessori lab because it's the new thing, the in thing, it is popular. So they want to do that. So for that, they need to hire Montessori teachers. So it can help you get that job. Secondly, if you're already a teacher in a preschool and your school wants to upgrade or bring in a Montessori lab, and you want to pitch in for that job of the head of that lab, or the school has asked everyone that now we are bringing in Montessori, you all need to upskill or upgrade, otherwise we are hiring Montessori teachers. So you want to upskill. It helps you there as well. Then Montessori is an expensive method. So sometimes if you can't afford it for your children, there are many young mothers who have qualified, who got this qualification so that they could help their children at home itself. Now, how you can apply Montessori at home? Dr. Maria Montessori believes that children needed a very supportive environment to grow freely. So the same approach which is used in school can be used at home also. Not necessary to have all the materials for that. The attitude and the approach works. Like keeping their home simple, organized, uncluttered. So children are able to understand expectations. Even toddlers will be able to put their things back with guidance and encouragement if there are few things. If you have their toys, don't have a sack full of or basket full of toys which the children take out and then they don't know what to play with, and it becomes a giant, humongous sorting activity. It is not playing, but it's a sort, and then they just leave them there and go and do something else. So if you have a few things out on a shelf, on a table, whatever you have at home. And then keep rotating it according to their interest. That's a better way. That's how you can do it at home. A clutter-free bedroom with clear spaces for sleeping, dressing, and self-care fosters independence. Low accessible furniture and all.
Ma'am, cleaning and pouring activity also.
Yes. Cleaning, pouring, dusting. Children enjoy working with, if you buy expensive toys for them, you will see they will play with them for a day or two, then they are abandoned and they go back to working with katori, chammach, jhadu pocha.
Yes,
Isn't it? Right?
ma'am, because this is a practical life based, mostly Montessori. So
Yes.
kids like to enjoy that one activity.
Because they are familiar things and things which they like, but they are
Yes.
not allowed to, or they are not child-sized things, so they don't work with them. Right? So
Yes.
we have this fascination towards them. So we have a whole area of practical life. So at home, if you can't have those things, that's okay. At least allow them to do whatever they are interested in. And if you, of course, you can't allow your child to clean the whole house. Probably they have them have their own corner which they can clean themselves with tools which are child-sized, low accessible, reachable things. Limiting toys, using open shelves, depending upon whatever resources you have. I'm not saying establish a Montessori lab at home, whatever. In the kitchen, involve them. When you put the laundry outside, take out the clothes from outside when they have air dried, sun dried. After that, when you are putting them back, take the children's help in sorting the socks, helping you loading the dishwasher, taking out the things, or n number of things like washing utensils. But they have to be child-sized. They love to do these washing dishes, or maybe have them have a few dishes of their own, their size, which they can do in a place which is accessible. So such things they love to. This is how you can work at home. Now, this kind of a qualification also, if you have entrepreneurial dreams and you want to open your own Montessori preschool, you can do that also with its help. If you can't open a preschool and you still have the desire to start something like an activity center at home itself or a daycare facility, you can do that. So Up Educators has, we are running Montessori Teachers Training Live Interactive course. In this course, you learn by doing, and you are, provided with a kit of the materials which are on your screens. Every candidate who is doing this course gets this kit, which helps you master the Montessori methods. Presentations are given online, but you get to practice them with this kit at home. And there are many other materials which you're taught to prepare, like the practical life tools can be used from home itself. Now, I'll quickly give you a demonstration of one material. Just give me 1 minute to set up my camera, please.
Oh. Right. Book. Book है. आगे. हाँ? ये. ये.
Are you able to see properly?
Ma'am, exactly what is this, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Materials.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Materials, and I have not able to display all here. These are a few materials, but these are all part of the kit. If anyone is doing this course, they will get. Okay, we have the spindle box for maths, we have the pink tar, we have the sandpaper letters with the golden beads materials, and we have the movable alphabet for phonics and language.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
I'm not audible?
Yes, you are, ma'am.
We can hear you.
Audible, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Audible, ma'am. Ma'am, phonic sound also comes under the Montessori, ma'am.
Yes. Montessori has a beautiful phonics program.
Because whenever we introduce one alphabet, that uppercase and the lowercase, we basically go with the phonic sound.
Yes. Here also we do the same.
Okay, ma'am.
The sounds only.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Prashant. So I am going to just show you one presentation. This material which I have over here is the color tablets. Okay. So whenever we give a Montessori presentation, now I'm not going to do it as slowly as I do it in the class to save your time as well. But I'll explain it to you how we do it. So there are three aspects to a presentation. There is a invitation, there is an actual demonstration, and then there is a winding up. This completes the work cycle for a Montessori presentation, and it would be incomplete. Sonia, I'm coming to that just in 2 minutes. So I'll give you a presentation for this. For this, I'll invite the child. Let's say the presentation is given to children in the morning or in the school. So I'll say, good morning, child. Are you interested in a new activity? When child says yes, okay, we are going to work with the color tablets today. Come, let me show you where they are placed. So I take him to the shelf, show him how to pick it up and bring it to the work area. Here, we both sit down. The teacher sits to the dominant side or the right of the child, and the child sits to the left. This is a color box, and these are color tablets. This is how we hold the color tablet. Would you like to hold and see? Once the child has done, then I say, can you help me take them out one by one and place them randomly on this mat over here? So I can indicate where to place it for the child. So I'll do it a little fast so that I save all of your time. So once they are all placed outside, I close the box, put it away. Then I tell the child, we are going to work with the color tablets today. You watch me carefully, then it shall be your turn. Would you like to try now? When the child says yes, then I dismantle, we both dismantle them again and I let the child try. Once the child has finished, then I'll conclude the activity saying, so child, today we have worked with the color tablets and we have matched. You are free to match them whenever you like. You may come to me if you need any help. Shall we wind up now? Could you please help me place the tablets back in the box? So see, with these little things, we are teaching the child order. We are teaching him responsibility. We are teaching the child from where to get the materials and where to put them back. So there is responsibility. Then the child, his sense of chromatic sense or the color sense is refined, visual sense. This is a mathematical skill which the child learned, which is pairing. Pairing is a mathematical skill, pairing and matching. And there are, this simple activity can actually lead to the holistic development of the child. There are various objectives and aims. If we actually start discussing the aims of this one activity, we'll spend more than half an hour doing that. How many different aims? And actually, whenever you work with this material, you will always discover a new aspect of it, how it leads to concrete to abstract learning of the child. This leads to creativity and imagination. Then the child is able to recognize colors in the environment. Once the child has mastered the pairing and matching, we give him the names of the colors with a very unique technique called the 3-period name lesson. So on and so forth. So now I tell you what are the certifications and courses we offer. We have 2 courses. There is a diploma course in the Montessori method, and there is the postgraduate or the PG diploma course. This is the Up Educator certificate. which those who do this course will get. This is the PG certificate. Then now we have, this is the only course in India which has a government certification, only Montessori course in India which has a government certification, meaning once you do it, you get a Skill India certificate if you opt for it, MEPSC Skill India certificate as well. Whoever is doing this course will also get a Google certified educator experience and a certificate. Never. The course helps you 100% with 100% placement assistant and extra workshops on resume building, interview skills, portfolio, building, and presentation skills are of course given in your session. About 1,000 plus of our educators who have done courses from Up Educators are currently working in preschools. Many of those, the names on your screens, all over India. A few, little information about the faculty. This is myself. I'm not going to go into the information is on your screen. And various other experienced faculty for our NTT and ECT programs. From time to time, we have visiting faculty. These are the two program variants. First, about the diploma. The diploma is a 6-month program. Okay, you get 12 items in the kit, and this is the course outline: Montessori philosophy, Montessori setup, sociology, psychology, how to plan curriculum, the 5 key learning areas, meaning practical life, sensorial, language, mathematics, and cultural subjects. If you have any queries, you can please ask me. The fee for this course is 17,900, and then you get a kit with it, which is for 15,000. The PG diploma in Montessori teachers training course is a 1-year program, in which the course outline is like this. Term 1 is the same as the diploma course, and the term 2 you have the modules which are on your screen. Okay. The fee for this course is 24,900, and the kit is for 21,000. Now this is please mute yourself. It is very important information. Please mute yourself. Not the time to speak. At the end of the session, you can stay back to ask me questions if you want. So, surprise, surprise. Those who are showing an interest and filling the form today, have a special offer. For the diploma course, the kit is free, complimentary, meaning instead of 33,800, the course is only for 17,900, and you get a complimentary kit. For the PG diploma, instead of 46,800, it is offered only for 24,900, and the kit is complimentary. Few testimonials you can read. I'm not going to delve into them, from people who have done our courses and have found them really useful to get work and upskill themselves. Not only from teachers, but also from parents. Now, any other information if you want for our courses, which you feel that you wanted to know more about, but couldn't fully get here, you can always go to our website, which is www.upeducators.com, and get that information. Now, on my screen, I have a link which you can click and you can fill the form if you're interested in the course. You have also to fill it for your certificate, which you will get after this webinar.
यार 2 मिनट और रुक जाओ.
Please do not.
May I know what is the qualification needed?
10 plus 2.
Ma'am, shall I speak?
Yes, please.
10 plus 2. Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Sasmita from. Ma'am, what are the main activities for the children 2 to 4 years? Basically, that is from playgroup and nursery kids. The Montessori, what is the basic activities to do?
The basic activities for the children are... First, 1 second, I'm coming to it. See, I have pasted the link in your chat also. You can click here and fill the form. Now, what are the activities, for the children which are, transferring. No, they cannot use, a 2-year-old child cannot use the spoon yet, so they are transferring with hand. You know, there are the sensorial materials like knob cylinders. For language, we don't start the reading and writing program, but we have language games.
Yes.
And various, there is a whole list of there are about, you can say, 70 to 80 even more such activities which you can do with these children, and you get information and knowledge about all of them if you happen to join this course. Yes, you will get certificate for this. You will have to fill the form and your details, and soon, by the end of today, you will get the certificate. If you are interested in the course, it is must, and if you want the course at this cost, it is a must to fill the form so that someone can approach you for the course. Any other queries, you are free to ask now. If those who have filled the form and they want to leave, you are free to leave.
Ma'am, where is the form?
Ma'am, we didn't get the link now.
Chat, in the chats, please check the chat, the main chat. Click on the link. I'm pasting again. Tell me whether you can see it.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
In the everyone chat, the meeting, main classroom chat.
Yes, ma'am, I've got it.
Got it? Right. Click it.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Paste it again. Now check.
No, ma'am. Still, I'm not getting.
The link will be shared in the WhatsApp group also.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, I just want to ask one thing that if we are applying Montessori strategies to into our classroom, so what should be the actual strength? Because in general classes there are, in normal pre-primary there are 32 students. So is there any particular class strength that should be considered for Montessori?
A lot depends upon the resources at hand of the school. The ideal strength is 5:1.
Like 5 students?
One teacher.
And one teacher.
That
Okay.
is the
For
ideal
Montessori.
strength.
Okay.
And the space also should be there. But there are many who have worked with 20 children with 2 teachers.
Okay. So it basically
There are
depends
other
upon
adults in
the resources that we have and
Yes,
how we can
a
do
lot depends upon the resources. You can always do it as per your
Right.
own resources and make the most of what you have.
it. Right. ठीक है. Thank you, ma'am. And ma'am, one more thing. Can you please just explain that pink tower the strategy one more time? Just brush up. Just want to have.
Yes.
Mm.
See, in your WhatsApp groups, the link is there, okay? The form link is there. You can access it in the WhatsApp group if anyone is not able to access it here. Okay. So the pink tower is to refine the child's visual sense. And when the child works with it, the child gets various things like, gradation, seriation, ascending order and descending order, indirectly gets the concept of weight. There is a trial and error, which is a mathematical skill. Then after having tried the pink tower, the child would make other things with it, like a stair pattern or, combine with other materials and make Burj Khalifa or Qutub Minar. So creativity and imagination is there. Then you can say it leads to intellectual development. There is science here. So because for a building to be strong, the foundation has to be strong. So the big cube has to be at the bottom.
Right. So even with that, they can also understand the balancing concept also, like,
Yes.
How we are doing it, big and small
This is
concept.
the STEM approach.
Right. Got it, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Any other queries, anyone? Congratulations, those who got the certificate.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the certificate.
Thank you for being patient and being here today. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
being here.
excuse me, ma'am. I just wanted to ask, what is the difference between this PG and diploma? Will there be a difference in the salary, or what is it like?
See, that depends what we want, what we are looking for. So the diploma course is a good enough course for us to get work, to get job as a preschool teacher anywhere. It is in no way inferior to the PG diploma. One who has done a Montessori diploma can always get a job anywhere. PG diploma has more general topics also, which, because these days there are many schools which are hybrid, okay, and they will be doing Montessori and other things also. So PG diploma helps you in those areas.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
One can always join in the diploma, and then if you feel useful, then you can go on to, after that also you can upgrade to the PG diploma if you want.
Okay.
Any other query from anyone?
Ma'am, may I speak?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, it
soon
was
you
an
will get it.
excellent
If you fill the
webinar.
form, you will get it soon.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
I also
It
got
was an
it.
excellent,
Yes, please. Your query.
excellent webinar. I'm a pre-primary teacher, but recently, from past 3 years, I'm working on nursery as a nursery teacher. Where whatever you said, it was really, the practical, what Maria Montessori has taught. That is very, very important, very, very needed for the
Thank you.
holistic
I'm
development
so
of the
glad.
children at the early stage, what we have seen. Yes, ma'am. When they go to LKG and UKG, the same thing. Yeah, if it is followed, really, they are excellent children whosoever have went from nursery to LKG. Because in nursery, we will teach everything, whatever you just now you have discussed, now, ma'am. It was really, if it is continued in the pre-primary, giving much importance to the worksheets and that, these and all. If we give the hands-on learning experiences to the children, where tactile, everything is given, the children will become excellent, madam. Really. In future, there will be the wanderers, what Maria Montessori has said. And thank you, ma'am, for the history of Montessori, Maria Montessori, which I got to know today, was really, thank you for that.
Thank you, dear. I am so glad you found it useful. And if
Thank
you're
you,
interested in this course, you will see that there is a lot more to Montessori than what we
Ma'am,
did in this webinar.
Yeah, I have a question, ma'am. Last question. Ma'am, how do we identify whether a child is ready for the particular Montessori activity or not?
Observation tells us the children have an inner need and interest towards materials. All the materials are laid out over there, and every choice which the children have, it is useful. So when they show, sorry, please, if you're not speaking, then mute. If you're not speaking, then mute yourself, please. So what I'm saying is, the child shows an inclination towards an activity. So then the teacher takes a note from there only, and then she tries to introduce that material to the child, something close to that need the child is showing. Let's say the child is, opening and closing things or putting things inside and taking out. So we have opening and closing materials. If the child is pulling and closing drawers all the time, then we have such materials which can address that need and skill, right? If the child shows an interest towards language, and if the child is more linguistic, then we have the materials which will attract and fascinate. So the teacher will then motivate or introduce those things to the child and see if the child shows interest. When the child does that, then and the child's, you can say, the soul is connected with the material. That is how the journey starts, and they start working.
Sir, sir. Good evening, madam. Good evening, madam. I have a small doubt. Can we implement this method for the slow learners or MR children? Is it possible to implement this
Certainly,
Montessori
very
method?
useful for them.
Yeah.
But you need to have a plan. You need to have
Okay,
a plan, and you don't have the same can't have the same expectations from slow learners as the others. So that is the beauty of Montessori materials, that there is room or scope for everyone to do it at their own pace. So when the slow learners are progressing, then let them do it in their way. Do not.
Is it the same method, madam? Is it the same method? Can we implement for the MR children also, madam?
Yes, it is
can we?
there,
Because
but you need to help. You need the support of an expert in that area. That expert can guide you, at what pace and what results to expect. So the teacher, with the support of the expert, can work with these. The materials are same, but the approach needs to change a bit.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you very much, madam.
So, ma'am, the story started from the breadcrumbs.
Yes, it started from breadcrumbs, and there's one more incident of in a garden. You know, a beggar woman was sitting with a child, and the child was fiddling with strips. And there are various other examples. If you are interested, you can always look up and find more about it. You will see many such incidents which told her, something stirred within her soul, which told her that I am meant to do something else and address the needs of these children. It is beautiful to read about her.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
I want to ask the children who are in UKG and not able to write, we have to catch their hand and we have to make them write. So what I have to use the trick for them?
So they are in UKG and not able to write. You mean they came to the school in UKG only, or they are not able to write till now?
No, he already he was in Poddar school, madam. But there they were not having the writing part.
Okay, but their motor skills are developed.
Motor skill are developed, ma'am.
So then you can introduce at their own pace. So they will be slower than the others. Do not rush them, but you will see that these children will not take as much time to learn as your 3-year-olds did.
Because I have to catch his hand and I have to make him write, madam.
So introduce sandpaper letters, writing in the sand first. Once they learn the directionality, at the same time, give them a lot of hands-on activities so that finger muscles are strong.
Okay.
Then you will give them crayons, thick crayons, and let them do coloring, working using crayons and all that. And soon you will see they will be ready for the pencil.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Any other query from anyone?
May I know your good name, ma'am?
My name is Chetan Preet.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've been in this area for 17 years now. Started as a preschool teacher, then as a trainer, then I've headed a Montessori teacher training Pan India Institute. Currently, I am mentoring at app educators and also consulting and helping schools set up Montessori, design their curriculum and all that.
You have clearly explained with patience. Though
That's
there were a
what
lot of
Montessori
mistakes.
does to us. Montessori does to us. You will see those of you who get Montessori qualification, they become like that.
Exactly.
Congratulations, Chaya. So I'm glad you found the session useful and you apply this in your daily life, because Montessori is more than materials. It is also about our attitude and approach. If it helps you in your daily life, it is going to be useful for you. And those of you who are interested to take this qualification, I'm sure you must have left your details. And I hope to see you in the classes. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with me. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much. Good night,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Good night.